Weapons. Does it live up to the hype? Let's talk about it. It's 2:17 in the morning. Do you know where your kids are? The simple setup for this film is that there's this small town and a classroom full of kids goes missing at 2:17 in the morning. They just run out their front doors and disappear. This is a new thriller horror movie by Zach Kreger. He's the director of Barbarian that came out in 2022. When Barbarian came out, I was thoroughly impressed. I thought he did a great job blending humor and thriller and horror really well into that film. And I was excited to see what he would do next. Now, Weapons falls into that exact same vein. This is a mystery thriller that honestly has quite a bit of humor laced into it and also a big splash of horror in there as well. What I really enjoyed about this movie was Zach could have gone the typical route of storytelling and just gone from A to Z. But what he does is he does it in a very interesting way. He tells the story through chapters, through different people's perspectives in the film. And by doing this, it kept the film so fresh and kept you on the edge of your seat. And it made you like look at things differently and pick up on little things all throughout the film because you're seeing it from different people's point of view the entire time. We had a pretty stacked cast for this film. We had Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Aiden Ehrenreich, and Austin Abrams. And a standout for me, honestly, was Austin Abrams. He kind of was somewhat of a comedic relief, but the way his character was told and portrayed and brought to life was just super entertaining and it was very connective. Now, Julia Garner plays the teacher in the classroom where all the kids went missing. And so you're kind of just put in her shoes for part of the movie and you really feel for her because she's confused. She doesn't know what happened, but the parents of the kids are all blaming her because it's only her classroom that went missing. So she's very just distraught and she already has some issues that she's dealing with in her personal life, some things from her past that really make her a complex character. And Josh Brolin plays a concerned father of one of the kids that went missing, which, obviously we would all be very distraught and just wanting to know what happened. And we do get his perspective on it, and I appreciated that. I do wish maybe they would have one or two other parents, they would have kind of given us a little idea. There was one other time briefly, but maybe, some conversations between parents. That's, a little just nitpick thing. Something I love about Zach Kreger's filmmaking is his atmosphere. He creates a very eerie, unsettling atmosphere, and that carries all the way through. You're never kind of let up from it. It's just very eerie and it creeps in and kind of starts haunting you as you're watching the film and as it progresses. Another thing I really appreciate, and it was done in Barbarian too, Zach loves practical effects, practical horror effects. And I'm telling you what, the practical effects in this movie were fantastic. When we get to these crazy parts, especially in the third act, and there's a lot of just crazy horror violence, him and his team do a great job at using practical effects to make it just super cringy and very off-putting, and you kind of want to look away. It's just very, very effective. And to go along with the practical effects, I will tell you guys this. Yes, there's, it's a thriller mystery with quite a bit of comedy, but the horror parts, man, they go for it. I was sitting there and parts of it, I was like, wow, like we're really going here. Like it took it all the way to a crazy place and it was just wild. I also felt like Zach Kreger did a really good job at utilizing jump scares. There's not like a ton of them, but they're popped in here and there, especially throughout the first act or two. And it really helps just kind of like break things open and wake things up, because this is a slow burn. This is a slow burn mystery that, like I said, kind of creeps in and just starts to overtake slowly. I was watching an interview with Zach Kreger, and he was talking about his influences for this film, and he named Prisoners, the Denis Villeneuve movie, which is incredible, and The Shining, and you can really tell that both of these are in here. Even the cinematography is very kind of Roger Deakins-esque, Prisoners vibes. And there are for sure a few shots in here that have inspiration from The Shining. This is such an interesting, mysterious, thought-provoking original film. I'm actually excited to do a rewatch of this movie as well, because the way it's told, these different chapters in the movie of these characters, there's so much that you can pick up on throughout the movie. What you picked up on some Easter eggs and stuff like that. But if I do a rewatch, I think there's even more that I can pick up on, some like foreshadowing and things that will come to light and really have this wow factor of what, like, this is so well crafted. I also thought that they utilized the musical score really well. It's pretty minimal at times, which is very effective actually. But when it kicks in, it's actually this kind of, a lot of it's this electronic, like thumping and eerie noises. And I thought that was really cool. Overall, guys, this was a highly enjoyable mystery thriller with a splash of horror and comedy. And it was just all these different little threads that were all separated at the beginning that ended up all coming together to culminate into this amazing third act that was bonkers, crazy, funny. The only other nitpick I will say is after the third big bombastic act, I thought the movie kind of just ended too quickly. I would have maybe appreciated a little bit more exploration in the ending, but I mean, maybe on rewatch it'll sit differently with me. I don't know. Bottom line, I look forward to anything that Zach Kreger decides to do next. I think he's a very fresh voice in horror and in thriller movies and in writing. I appreciate him and appreciate what he brings to the genre. So, have you seen Weapons? What did you think about it? Are you gonna go see it? Let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and look forward to talking to you guys soon.